This is Tech Noir. I am Jason Dolan. I'm here with
Amanda Cryer.
And guess what? We're not doing a trailer reaction this time. We're continuing this series, IMDB versus the Oscar. Seth Slick and I have gone through and done the 90s, then we went back into the 70s, and then we did the 80s. So we just did those full decades just to kind of get a comprehensive breakdown of that period of history. But going forward, that was the 20th century, this is the 21st century. We're going to be going year by year. So these videos are going to be a little shorter, and we're really going to examine the films that were nominated for Best Picture, the movie that won Best Picture, and then the highest rated films on the IMDb Top 250 list, and compare and see how those sync up. So we are going to begin with the year 2000.
Okay.
And Amanda, do you remember what won Best Picture in 2000? It's Gladiator!
Oh my gosh!
It was one of those weird years where, actually the director didn't win. I think Russell Crowe won for Best Actor. It won a couple of tech awards and everything like that. But it was definitely a kind of a divided year.
But Ridley Scott didn't win for Best Director?
He did not win for Best Director.
Wow.
In fact, the director who did win was nominated twice that year for two different movies. That was Steven Soderbergh. The films that Soderbergh were nominated for were Erin Brockovich and Traffic.
Right.
Brockovich is the film that Julia Roberts finally won her Academy Award for, and much deserved. She was one of the biggest movie stars of the 90s. And I think in this case it came down to Gladiator and Traffic. Mm-hmm. Traffic won Steven Soderbergh the Academy Award for Best Director. So that I think it really was between Traffic and Gladiator that year.
But Gladiator won Best Picture.
And Gladiator won Best Picture.
Good.
And Russell Crowe won Best Actor, and I think that was also much deserved after two incredible performances in L.A. Confidential, which he didn't get nominated for, and then The Insider in 1999, which he did get nominated for, but lost to Kevin Spacey. So it was good to see Russell Crowe again. Same with Julia Roberts, kind of solidify their movie star status, getting their Oscars for Best Actor. But what stands out about Gladiator to you? Why do you love it so much?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. It's interesting because there are so many things that stand out about that movie to me. The music composition and the soundtrack was so moving. I remember that one scene where Russell Crowe goes home. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to be murdered.
Yes.
And then he escaped.
Mm-hmm.
And he travels for days trying to get back home to his wife and his son.
Yes. And
you see this scene where he pulls up, on his horse, or he gallops up, and then he gets off his horse, and as the camera slowly pans up, you see the feet of his wife and his son dangling in the air.
Yeah.
Because they've been hung. And that music, I don't know, it was incredible. And let me just tell you something. Mm-hmm. I bawled my eyes out in that scene.
Hans Zimmer, who was the one who did the score for that film, absolutely phenomenal. Now, we're going to talk about some of the other films that were nominated that year. It was Chocolat, mm-hmm. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, mm-hmm. Erin Brockovich, and Traffic, as we mentioned. And I think out of those five, you feel that definitely Gladiator was the best.
It's hard to say because...
Yes.
I definitely think it was better than some of those films, mm-hmm. but, the Traffic was an incredible ensemble piece. The acting, the performances were unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Benicio del Toro, he won the Oscar that year for Best Supporting Actor. So good. Michael Douglas did a great job in the film. Don Cheadle.
That movie was incredible. I loved it.
It was sort of like pre-Breaking Bad to a certain extent of really understanding the drug problem in this country and told from so many different points of view. But now we're just going to talk about the highest rated movie on IMDb of that year, and it was Gladiator. Also Gladiator, yes. Gladiator comes in at number 46 all time. So in that sense, it appears that the Oscars and IMDb, they really got it right that year. The next highest rated film was one of my personal favorites, Requiem for a Dream at 78.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And there's a film that definitely should have been nominated for Best Picture, in my opinion.
I agree.
Another film that comes in at 92 was Snatch.
Yeah, I loved Snatch.
Snatch was a big one, and it's when you do this in retrospect, you know, like the top 5 movies, in addition to those 3, you can round it out with Amores Perros, and
excellent movie,
and In the Mood for Love. But those 5 movies, really, when you think about it, it's interesting that none of the other movies that were even nominated for Best Picture made the final cut.
For that year.
Only Gladiator was the only movie that's in the top 250 that made it. So
wow.
That's what's really fascinating to me when we're breaking it down and doing these individual years, is looking at what are the top 5 movies for IMDb against what the Academy. So even though the Academy did get it right in regards to what won Best Picture with Gladiator, they did get it wrong to a certain extent with the rest of the films. Not to say those aren't great films, they're all great films, but the movies that have really made a mark on posterity, the people that seek out to vote on IMDb, they sort of, their opinions differed in that sense, and just going to, yeah, that was it, and there we go. So, that's our wrap up of IMDb versus the Oscars for 2000, the first year of the 21st century, or I guess actually 2000. That's the final year of the 20th century, if you want to get real technical. But we were like all the people that were celebrating, you know, the crossover, even though the century actually didn't change over till 2001. When we were all in Times Square, we were so excited. It was going 1999 to 2000. So we're doing that. We're getting caught up in the Y2K madness with our IMDb versus the Oscars. So if you like this video, please share. Click the little like button, comment below, tell us what you think should have won Best Picture that year.
Definitely.
And come back for more. We'll be doing every year going forward, and then you can go back and check out the decades that I did with Seth Slick. And that's our video for tonight. I'd like to thank Amanda Cryer.
Thank you.
Being here, being my little sounding board. All right, guys.